Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. One of the major duties of law enforcement agencies, such as the Highway Patrol, is the prevention of any sort of panic which might jeopardize the safety of public citizens. While making a friendly call last year in May, the head of the Highway Patrol unexpectedly and unknowingly encountered a new type of killer, one just as deadly dangerous as any gun-toting criminal.
Hi, Miss Matthews. Hi.
Charlie, how's the orange crop going this year?
Oh, say, I'm getting a couple more boxes to a tree since you and your boys cleaned up that gang of grove thieves.
Looks like we're both interested in pest control.
Yeah, with guns.
I know what you mean. Glad everything's going okay. Say hello to Mrs. Norton for me, will you?
Yeah, I sure will. Right now, she's in town buying supplies.
Oh, by the way, how's my pal Tommy?
So I haven't seen him since she left this morning. He must be up to something.
Hold it. Raise your hands.
Please, don't shoot. Please don't shoot.
All right. Turn around. Okay, mister. Inside. All right, mister. You can put your hands down now.
Don't tie me up, please.
Well, okay.
What do you got here, Tommy?
A real model police special, 38.
Did you make this yourself?
Sure I did. Come on, I'll show you.
Hey, Tommy, this isn't dry yet.
Well, don't worry about the paint, Mr. Matthews. It'll come right off. Got some painter rags here.
What kind of paint is this, Tommy? There's no odor to it.
That's not real paint. Just some kind of whitewash. Better not. I just finished painting those two.
Oh?
Mr. Matthews,
Mm-hmm.
I got a favor to ask you. Someday when you're not in a rush, could you, well, would you teach me how to target practice?
Well, what do you say to today?
Here, use this gun. Then you won't get paint on your hands again.
Well, if we're going to have target practice, we got to have something to shoot at, don't we? Oh, there it is right there.
That doesn't look big enough for me to hit.
It's plenty big enough. Now, first, we got to back up. Come on. I'll show you.
Oh, Tommy!
There I am, Dad, in the shed.
That's okay. Just wanted to tell you I'm going down to the far end of the grove to spray.
All right, Dad.
Now, look, Tommy. You stand just like this. Oh, not quite so far apart. A little closer together.
How's this?
That's much better. Now, the gun should feel like a continuation of your arm, like this. See? Now, your left hand right down on your side, tight.
Why'd you do that?
That's for balance. You don't want it waving around. Now, look, let me show you how to hold it. You cradle the butt right here. Put your thumbs exactly where I have mine. That's it. Now, put your index finger on the trigger. Just like that. That's it. Now, the rest of the butt is held tight with these three fingers. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, swell. Now, put your left hand down there. Put your arm out. Straighten a little bit more. That's it. Now, you line the two sights up right on the center of the target. Now, you got it?
Yeah?
Now, take a deep breath. Let half of it out. Squeeze.
Bullseye.
Okay, Tommy. You practice what I just showed you, huh?
That's your gun, Mr. Matthews. I'm gonna paint it up real special. Then I'll give it to you.
Okay, thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Tommy.
You're welcome, Mr. Matthews. You know, I sure would like to have a real gun like yours.
Maybe someday you will. Until then, keep practicing with that one. But remember one thing. Guns are dangerous. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Guns are dangerous. A constant caution of police officers everywhere. But Dan Matthews' warning to Tommy Norton had particular significance. Little did he suspect that Tommy's seemingly harmless toy guns were in every sense of the word as dangerous as any real gun. Deadly weapons, whose bullets were soon to present a threat to both their lives.
Hi, you're a little late.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on. Hey, you don't look very good.
I don't feel very good.
What's the matter?
I wish I knew. Where's the doc?
He's in the lab. You want me to go with you?
No, he's not here. I just think it's an old-fashioned stomachache.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Doc. What's the matter? Nothing serious, I hope.
Here, go sit down.
Okay.
Open your mouth. Stick this under your tongue. Stomachache?
Well, I got a dandy.
Pain just in the stomach?
No, it starts there.
Keep your mouth closed. When did it start?
Well, I'd say about 15, 20 minutes ago.
Eaten anything unusual?
No.
Threat of a public panic demanded an early diagnosis of Dan Matthews' illness. It was imperative not only to determine the necessary medical aid, but to prevent what in their minds could be disaster. Unknown to the Highway Patrol, as they moved rapidly in their efforts to avert a widespread panic, the illness had claimed another victim. The condition of a small boy, seriously ill and without help, grew steadily worse.
Hello? Mother? No, ma'am. The operator must have given you the wrong number.
Anything to show yet, Carson?
I called the Board of Health, Doctor. No other cases of food poisoning reported so far. It doesn't help us locate the source of contamination.
No. Trouble is, people living in rural areas seldom call a doctor until the last moment.
But are you sure that Dan has food poisoning?
Well, symptoms of his are common to a lot of things. None of them good.
Is he feeling any better?
A little. As soon as you finish these tests, let me have the results. I'll be with Matthews.
Yes, sir.
I want to keep a close check on him for the next few hours. For those symptoms, there's always the possibility of a wrong diagnosis.
Well, let's see now. I had lunch right here. I think I had the daily special. Breakfast I had here. I had pancakes, or it might have been number 3 or number 4 on the menu. I don't know.
How about dinner?
Let's see. Dinner I ate.
Hold it.
Give me George Libet's.
What is it?
I didn't eat dinner. I had a sandwich at the ballpark, at Libet's ballpark. Charity game, Little League.
Big crowd?
It's jammed. Hello, George. It's Dan Matthews, Highway Patrol. Who ran the food concession at the ballpark last night? What's his name again? Nick McKay. Does he have his own place? What's the name of it? Mick's Grill. Where is he? 3 miles south on 112, right. No, there's nothing wrong at all. I just want some information. Right, thanks very much. I'll take this one myself. Dispatch units. I want food and water samples. Check for contamination.
Look, I'll handle this. You need a rest.
I'm not the only one involved, Doc.
It's my responsibility.
Doc, there were a lot of kids there. Now, if they get the same thing I had, their families are going to panic. We'll have a catastrophe.
Okay, you win, but I'm going with you because I got some pills.
All right, bring your pills. Come on, let's get moving.
Good afternoon.
How are you? I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol. This is Dr. Holmes right here. You run the food concession at the ballpark, don't you?
What about it?
Well, I ate there. Just had my stomach pumped. Could be food poisoning.
I don't serve bad food.
I don't say you do. We just want to check it, that's all.
Check all you want.
I want samples of everything you served.
Okay. I think I've got leftovers of everything.
Water. Give me some water. Here, Dan. Here. Take those.
While Dan Matthews and Dr. Holmes worked feverishly, little Tommy struggled, alone, frightened, and sick, unable to reach his father working at the far end of the grove, a father unaware of his son's desperate plight.
Pain gone, Dan?
Almost.
Try some more water.
That pill works pretty fast.
It's only temporary.
Mick's Restaurant.
Dr. Holmes, please.
You Holmes?
Yes.
It's for you.
Thank you. Yes?
Carson speaking, Doctor. I just finished the stomach analysis. Negative.
Not food poisoning. Well, how about other poisons?
No trace so far.
I'm bringing Matthews back right away. You get those samples ready. I'll send another patrol car to pick them up.
Well, it's not food poisoning. What do you need the samples for?
What do you need samples for, Doc?
Because your symptoms are indicative of a lot of things that can be caused by food.
Give me a name for it. Woody, give me a name for it.
I don't know, Dan. Maybe some of our other tests will tell us what it is, but they won't be finished for 24 hours.
You know, other people can get hit by this. Lots of people.
Then we'll have that catastrophe you're afraid of. Full-scale panic.
Let me tell you one thing, Doc. Panic can hit and move faster than any disease.
The dread panic had found a victim. As Dan Matthews and the doctor sought to avert a general panic, an immediate tragedy was in progress. Little Tommy Norton, gravely ill and without medical aid, was unable to understand the strong and gripping pains that racked his body.
You know, that pill left a funny taste in my mouth.
Couldn't have been the pill, Dan. The pill has no taste.
I ought to know. I swallowed it.
I know, too.
Well, something tasted funny.
What sort of a taste?
I don't know. It's like... Well, you know, it's like new faucets in your house.
Tastes and smells are peculiar to each individual. Can't you pin it down, Dan?
Well, let me see. It's kind of metallic, like... Well, like lead.
I'm going to check the water.
What's the matter now, Doc?
Give me a glass of water. Have you had any plumbing done around here recently?
Plumbing?
No taste.
What's this all about?
Is this the same tap water you gave Mr. Matthews?
Yeah?
Metal. Thanks. Dr. Holmes to headquarters. Dr. Holmes to headquarters.
Headquarters, by?
Get a hold of my lab assistant. Tell him to run a quick lead determinator test on Matthews. We're coming in. 10-4. 10-4.
10-4.
Parson.
You find anything?
Nothing yet.
Dan, you've got lead poisoning.
Lead poisoning.
7.0 milligrams percent. Toxic dose. Give me a dose of calcium salts and an IV hypodermic of calcium.
Oh, come on, Doc. You're going to tell me that salts and shots are going to fix me up, all right?
Well, not quite. The calcium draws the lead out of the bloodstream. It takes about 2 weeks. It's called the Golden State treatment.
Well, here we go again. So I know that if I got it, other people have got it, too.
If we don't find those other people, could it be fatal?
If they don't get the proper medical attention, it could.
Where'd you get it?
Hey, Doc. Where could I get it?
By absorption. To the lungs, the skin, the stomach. Judging from the violence of your attack, I'd say you had a large contact, and recently.
You've been fooling around with car batteries lately. They contain lead.
No, I haven't.
Have you been handling anything that's painted with lead paint?
No.
Haven't been chewing on any lead pencils.
Come on now, my teething days are over.
Well, have you been doing any painting or been around anybody that has?
No. I was out to the Norton place. Little Tommy was fooling around with whitewash.
Oh, that's a water base.
Yeah, I know. Right now we're back at the beginning. We're back at the ballpark.
The capacity crowd.
Get me George Libet right away.
Take off your coat, Dan.
All right, here, give me a hand.
Yep.
What do you mean it's busy? This is an emergency. Tell him it's Matthews, Highway Patrol. Cut in. Hello, George. That fence around the ballpark, when's the last time you painted it? Oh, what are you, square needles or something, Doc? What, about 6 months ago? Well, why the wet paint signs on it? Oh, well, I see. Okay, thanks very much. Got the wet paint signs to stop the kids from crawling over.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah, but there's only one thing wrong. We're starting all over again.
Well, not quite. At least we know what we're looking for.
Yeah, but where, Doc? Where?
Been to a manufacturing plant. A factory.
Gardening?
No. I was at the Norton's place, and he was spraying his orange grove. I handled that can about an hour ago.
Some commercial insecticides contain arsenic of lead.
They do? Get me Charlie Norton's place right away. Well, they don't answer.
But they're not home.
Maybe they can't answer. Let me have my hat. Come on, Doc, let's go.
Receiving the proper medical attention, Dan Matthews was now out of danger. But would Tommy's desperate situation be discovered in time? If the toxic infection progressed unchecked, it could be a matter of only minutes before the deadly effects of lead poisoning would bring about a final collapse.
Art, you take the house. I'll take the garage and the shed.
Right.
You take it over that way, huh?
There's nobody in the house.
Hit that screamer. No, he's got to be in this grove someplace. Check those paint cans over there, will you?
Yeah.
What'd you find?
Nothing yet.
Gotta be around here someplace.
What's the matter?
Dan has lead poisoning.
What happened to that can of insecticide you were using?
What's the far end of the grove? What's that got to do with it?
Some commercial insecticides contain arsenic of lead, don't they?
Not this. I checked it when I bought it.
How about dry arsenate of lead? Is any of that around?
I haven't had any dry arsenate for 6 months. I remember the last can I bought because I ruined the top when I opened it.
See, whitewash powder and dry arsenic of lead. They look alike, don't they?
Yeah.
Let me see. Tommy painted his gun with whitewash. Wait a minute. What happened to that can of arsenic of lead, the one you said that you ruined the top on?
Well, I figured the dry powder would fly in the air too easy, so I
Come on.
Well, I dumped it in the big can, and I mixed it with water, and I put it up on one of the shelves inside the shed.
Let's take a look.
I thought it'd be safe up there. It's gone.
Tommy's been exposed more than I have. We gotta find him right away. Let's start looking. Come on, spread out. You take it this way.
Tommy! Tommy! Son!
Tommy! 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 Hey, Doc! Coming down! Hey, Tommy. Tommy. Tommy, wake up. Come on now, wake up. Tommy, come on, wake up. Wake up, boy.
Hi, Mr. Matthews.
Oh, Tommy, this is Dr. Holmes. He's gonna fix you up okay.
Hi, Tommy. I made Mr. Matthews feel better, too.
Were you sick, too?
Yeah, I have the same thing you do.
I want to get him back to the lab. Oh, don't worry. We got it in time. Everything's going to be all right.
I want Mr. Matthews to carry me.
Well, I don't
All right,
think...
Doc, don't make a public panic out of it. Huh?
Okay. I'll go back to the car and prepare a hypodermic. I'll tell Norton we found his boy.
Okay.
A hypodermic? That means I'm gonna get a shot.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but yeah,
I don't like them.
I don't like him either. But look, Tommy, you and I are going to take pills and shots for the next couple of weeks.
Well, if you say so.
I say so.
Oh, we almost forgot.
What?
Here's your present.
Oh, thanks. You know, this is what made us both sick. Guns can be awful dangerous. Come on. See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, reckless driving doesn't determine who's right, only who's left. This is Roderick Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. One of the principal trouble sources of any law enforcement agency is circumstantial evidence. Too often, coincidence and chance conspire to point an overwhelming finger of guilt at an innocent person. The Highway Patrol encountered just such a case the morning that Stash Irwin, a wanted criminal, drove through the gates of the Apex Plastics Company.
Not one word. You, stand on the floor. Come on. Stand on the floor. All right, you, come here. Come on. Fire up. Her ankles, too. Gagger. Okay, around the back. Come on, around the back. Turn around. Turn around!
Okay. All right, mister, pull it up there. You have to wait now.
That's a gray convertible. No license number. All right, I got it, thanks. All right, we know the car was headed east when it left the plant. Could have doubled back. We can't take any chances. Put a roadblock here. Another one here. And one over here. Alert all units to look for a gray convertible. Let's go out to the plant that was robbed. Did you talk to the guard?
No, he's still unconscious. They're moving him from the dispensary to the hospital in town. So all we know is what we knew before. It was a gray convertible. Did find out one thing, though. The guard managed to fire 2 shots before he passed out.
In other words, we have no way of knowing whether somebody was waiting for him in the car or not.
But Mr. Stedman and I both told you the holdup man worked alone.
Yeah, Miss Fowler, when you saw him, he worked alone. But this doesn't rule out the possibility somebody else was waiting in the car. Now, there are a lot of things that don't add up. How did he get in the plant in the first place? As far as I understand it, you can't get into this plant without a company pass.
Well, of course, the gateman can pass a visitor through if he gets an okay from someone in authority.
Well, we'll know the answer to that and a lot of other questions when the guard regains consciousness. How much did he get?
$28,000.
For you, Mr. Matthews.
Oh, thanks. Listen, Matthews.
How's the neck?
Much better, thanks.
Oh? All right, fine. Get it to ballistics as soon as you can, will you? Thanks very much.
Right.
It's going to be quite a while before we can talk to the guard. He's in a coma.
Somebody sure left you stranded out in the middle of nowhere. I can take you as far as Farnsworth.
Suits me fine.
You all right, buddy?
It's nothing. Just a cold.
Sure you're okay?
It's nothing. Let's go.
Mister, I don't care what you say. You're sick. I'm going to get you to a doctor.
Look, will you forget about it? I'm all right, I tell you. Okay. So now you know. Just keep driving. From now on, you're my personal chauffeur.
Look, take the car, why don't you? Just let me go.
No dice. I need you to jockey me around.
When you're finished with me, how do I know you won't kill me?
You don't, pal. You don't.
Drop that gun and get out of the car. Drop that gun. Turn around. Put your hand on top of your head. Oh, am I glad to see you. I'll bet you are.
You expect us to believe, Mr. Siddons, that Irwin, badly wounded, was on the highway trying to hitch a ride?
Yes, that's what I expect you to believe.
You also expect us to believe that by a strange coincidence, you, an employee of Apex Plastics, the plant that was robbed this afternoon, gave Irwin a ride, coincidentally in a gray convertible. A gray convertible that's been identified as the car driven by the persons or persons who shot the guard.
Can I help it if there's so much coincidence? It's the truth, I tell you, every word. I never saw Irwin in my life before I picked him up on the road. Why, I wasn't anywhere near the plant when the robbery occurred.
No? Where were you then?
I told you. I went house hunting. Drove around, looking at homes.
Did you go back to the plant?
No, I didn't. I had no reason to.
28,000 is a pretty good reason.
I'm innocent, I tell you. I don't know why you keep hammering at me. It's easy enough to check my story. Ask him, why don't you? Ask Irwin. He'll verify what I'm saying. He'll tell you how it was.
If Irwin does any talking, it's going to be to a higher court than the one that tries you.
What do you mean?
Irwin's dead, Mr. Siddons.
2 hours of intensive questioning failed to shake Warren Siddons' testimony. While in the hospital, the wounded guard was fighting a grim battle for his life.
Won't budge. Still sticks to his story that the first time he saw Stash was when he picked him up on the highway.
Did he explain how Irwin got in the car? Or the fact that a witness said whoever shot the guard was driving the same make gray convertible?
Well, assuming that there were 2 great convertibles, it's possible maybe something went wrong with Stash's car and he had to get rid of it.
You really believe that?
I said it's possible.
He had the gun when we picked him up. The paraffin test proves he fired it. How about that?
Well, Siddons said he struggled with Stash and it went off during the fight.
And, of course, Stash isn't around to contest that version.
Well, what do you think?
Look at it this way. Stash needed inside help. Someone who knew the layout and could smuggle him inside the plant. Now, I could have ridden in with Siddons, maybe crouched down in the back of his car. Stash would have had to pull the actual holdup alone, because even with a mask, there was a chance that someone in payroll might recognize Siddons. So Stash got the money, came back down, got in the back of the car, and they started to drive off. When the guard heard the alarm go off, tried to stop the car. Siddons gunned him down. The guard managed to get off a couple of shots. As he did, Stash had reared up to see what was going on and caught a slug. The rest we know.
And the money?
Well, they probably ditched it somewhere before running into the roadblock. Plan to come back and pick it up later.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's only one thing.
What's that?
No matter how much circumstantial evidence we've got, he's innocent until proven guilty. We've got to build a case against him which leaves no room for doubt.
That means a complete check of his story, step by step against the facts.
That's right. Now, the area where Siddons claimed he picked up Stash Irwin, have it gone over. Tell all units to fan out. Keep their eyes open for any sign of the car or the money.
I heard it on the radio, I tell you, on the newscast. Stash is dead. They're holding Siddons on charges.
What about the money? They find that, too?
No mention.
Just our luck. After everything had gone perfectly, this had to happen. They say Siddons had no alibi.
That's right. Why, what are you thinking?
That patrol guy. He implied Stash might have had inside help. But the finger could point at me, and I wouldn't much like that. Since Siddons is already in the fire, maybe you and I had better do what we can about making sure the police don't run out of coal.
That's the spot, all right. Siddons was definite about that sign when he picked Stash up.
And a car should be right around here if there was a car. Stash couldn't have walked very far in his condition.
Yeah, that's right. Have the men keep checking. Tell them to spread out and check further up the road. If you want me, I'll be at the Apex plant. Is this Siddons' desk?
Yes. Imagine all that time working with him, eating in the same cafeteria, and he was just waiting for the day to pull off that holdup. Why, I even let him drive me home from work one day.
Well, this is nice. A handicapping sheet, Barry Mutual tickets. It's worth about $2,000-3,000.
On his salary?
You want to see Siddons' time card?
Yeah.
You know, if he claims he punched out at noon, he's lying in his teeth. See for yourself.
According to this, he never punched out at all.
Well, he probably intended to punch out, but when the guard
Wait a
stopped
minute.
him...
Could something go wrong with the machine? Could it fail to register?
Look, as payroll supervisor, those machines are my department. I check them daily.
Thanks, Mr. Stedman. Excuse me.
Hello?
Relax, honey. I just wanted to tell you it's okay. I was able to get into our friend's house. Everything's taken care of.
Not one thing you've told us is checked out. Not one. The investigation failed to turn up any trace of the missing money or another gray convertible. Then there's this matter of your time card here.
I don't understand that. I distinctly remember punching out.
These were found in your desk. It's a lot of dough to spend on horses with your income.
Oh, I don't know how they got there. Somebody must have put them there by mistake. I never gamble, except maybe a quarter on the office football pool.
I suppose this was somebody else's mistake, too. They were found in your house, packed and ready for a trip.
They're not mine. I never saw them before. I don't even own any luggage.
They're packed with your clothes.
I can't help that. I never packed them.
We also found these travel folders. Mexico, Central, and South America. Also an airline timetable with the flight underscored tomorrow night, 8 o'clock to Lima, Peru. We checked with the airlines. They've got a reservation in your name.
I don't know anything about it, I tell you. I can't understand any of this. It's like some horrible nightmare.
Siddons, how do you expect us to believe you in the face of so much evidence?
Yeah. Mr. Johnson, come here. That might be it. There's much too much evidence. It's all too neat. Only a chump in this case would deny his guilty to that or an innocent man.
The lab said there were no prints on the luggage. Looked like it was wiped clean.
Well, regardless of that, we got enough on this guy to convict a dozen men, but anybody who's smart enough to plan and execute a job like this, well, he'd try to alibi himself, wouldn't he?
Could be. Somebody's trying to frame him.
Ask him a question. You did arrange for a passport, didn't you?
No.
If he's planning on taking tomorrow night's flight to Lima, he would have made passport provisions, wouldn't he? Matthews. What? When was this? All of it? Are you sure? Right, thanks. They found the money. It was in a culvert about 3 miles away from where Siddons said he picked up Irwin. They also found the gray convertible. Gas tank was punctured and the front seat was covered with blood. Well, that puts you in the clear. Sorry we had to put you through the ringer like this.
I know how it must have looked, all that coincidence.
Now we've got to find the guy who was trying to frame you.
Frame me? I don't understand. If there's anything I can do, just let me know. But why should anybody want to frame me?
Well, there's only one reason I can think of. They want to set you up as a patsy. Divert suspicion from them or him. Now, look, tell me, who's got access to your desk? Who can fool around with your time cards?
Someone I worked with. Someone I maybe even counted on as a friend. But that could be any one of several dozen persons. How'll you know which is guilty?
If we catch him, he'll tell us. Greed strapped a lot of guys, you know.
How do you mean?
Well, right now, we're the only ones that know that the $28,000 has been recovered. Now, with your help, we'll use it as bait. That and you.
I've got a personal axe to grind here. This day's experience has aged me 10 years. Somebody's going to pay for that.
Mr. Siddons, I've got an idea.
I just heard it on the radio. They found Stash's car. The police are convinced that Siddons was involved, but not actually
Yes, Siddons is very sure of the directions. Well, what can we lose? All right, I'm sure you have it straight in your mind. Okay, I'll meet you there in 15 minutes.
Miss Burgess, you're under arrest. Don't worry about your boyfriend. We'll keep the date for you. Let's go. We'll drop her off at the county jail on the way. Strange place to check the payroll. Don't be stupid, you're coming.
Get your hands up.
Look, I was only trying to help. I thought you may have missed something.
Yeah, sure, I bet you did. That's what Miss Burgess thought, too. Okay, take him away. Next week's case, handled by the Highway Patrol, is a very exciting one. We hope you'll be with us. Until then, remember, the careless driver isn't driving his car. He's aiming it. This is Broderick Crawford saying see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Protection and vindication of the innocent is as important to the peace officer as is the apprehension and punishment of the guilty. On August 4th of last year, the boastful wanderings of a twisted criminal mind created an unusual situation for the Highway Patrol.
Just a moment, operator. I'll have to get some more change. Operator, get me the Highway Patrol. Hurry, there's a man holding up the filling station.
Highway Patrol, Larrabee. Yes, ma'am? Yes, go right ahead. Can you hold on just a moment, please? Attention all units. At Carson's filling station, Mortgage Road and Highway 118. A robbery taking place now. Ma'am, is he still there?
He's just driving away now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. The suspect is now leaving the scene of crime, heading north on Highway 118, driving a gray four-door sedan. License, Mary Paul Frank 686. 1440, establish a roadblock south of Frederick Junction. 1328, cover the backwood turnoff. 2410, drop down to cover roadblock on 118. 10-4?
2150 to headquarters.
Go ahead.
My 1020 is Lane Junction and 118. I'll cover it from the south. 10-4?
10-4.
Get the first aid kit. We got him. He's up here. Harry's with him. Name's Spec Martin.
What are you looking for, copper?
Well, I might be looking for the guy that did his roadside jobs. You think I might have gotten lucky and found him?
I fooled you for a long time. I'll fool you again.
Look, come on, Spec. Stop trying to fool me. What about that packing plant job? What about that farm job you did? We used to peg you for a big shot. Right now you're doing it for peanuts.
You never had me figured, copper. You're a bunch of dumb clucks. You even sent a guy to prison for a job I did.
You want me to believe that?
The guy believes it. He'll believe it for a long time.
Who is he?
Find out, copper.
When'd this happen?
A long time ago. A long...
Come on, Speck. What job was it?
A guy in a restaurant. What a clown. Try to grab him a gun. Let him have it, copper. I don't like to shoot. Mostly don't have to. Show them a gun and they faint.
Is this the gun?
Find out. Guess, copper. Guess.
This couldn't be the gun. It's too new.
You're stupid, copper. That gun was new 10 years ago.
You think we can believe him?
If this'll get an innocent man out of jail, I'll believe it. $21.50 to headquarters.
Headquarters, by.
Have the lab boys wait for me. I'm coming right in.
10-4.
You take the car and resume patrol. I'll wait for the ambulance to make out the report. Right.
Here are the reports from the lab and the records bureau. We have one other bullet on the file that was fired from this gun. Case 11897M, taken from the body of a restaurant owner that was killed in a holdup, June 23rd, 5 years ago.
Martin mixed up in it?
No. A man named Howard Silver. Tried and convicted of the crime, sentenced to life imprisonment.
Oh, he could be getting hot. Take it from the top.
The restaurant was a small highway bus stop. 1146 Howard Silver drove into the parking lot in a white four-door sedan. He got out and went into the restaurant. There was nobody in there at the time except the owner and the waitress. The waitress served what Silver wanted and then went and back to prepare for the arrival of the bus, due around midnight. 10 minutes later, she heard a shot from the restaurant about the time the bus was pulling into the parking lot. In the beam of the bus headlights, the driver saw a man run out and get into a four-door white sedan and drive off. He later identified that man in court as Howard Silver.
They find a gun?
No.
What about loot?
No loot.
What was the bus driver's name?
Jerry Reynolds.
Where is he now?
We're checking.
Where did they pick up Silver?
At a motor court down the highway. He readily admitted being in the restaurant, but denied any part of the shooting.
Did Silver have a record?
None.
Well, that's circumstantial evidence. It's convincing, but circumstantial.
Couldn't Silver have had that gun the night of the holdup?
Oh, Martin told me he had this gun for 10 years. You know something? I believe him.
But if Speck Martin has had that gun all this time, how come bullets from it haven't shown up?
Well, he said he didn't like to shoot. Most of the time, he didn't have to.
Well, statistics bear him out on that. Very low percentage of holdups end up in a shooting.
Could be that Silver finished his meal and took off. Then Martin came in, pulled the holdup, and that's the one the bus driver saw run into the white car.
Well, at any rate, these two bullets match.
Yeah, it proved that one of them killed the restaurant owner. From the same gun.
Highway Patrol, Larrabee. Yes, go ahead. Okay, thanks. Jerry Reynolds still driving a bus. He's on a run now. He'll be at the end of the line in 15 minutes. Stay in layover zone 15 more.
Where's the end of the line?
Junction of Route 12 and Hanover Highway.
We're going to have to present our evidence and see if we can get a release for Silver right away. Start things going, will you? I'm going out and talk to Reynolds. Jerry Reynolds?
Yes?
I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol. Oh, that's all right. Go right on with your lunch. I just want to ask you some questions. Tell me, 5 years ago, weren't you a witness to a highway restaurant robbery?
Yes?
Didn't your testimony send Howard Silver to prison?
Yes?
Why did you see confirm the identification?
The man himself. They reenacted the scene, you know. They had Mr. Silver run for the white car in the beam of my headlights.
Did you see his face?
Not very well.
How could you identify him then?
The attorneys had a big fight about that. I could tell by the way he ran, even if I didn't see his face.
Yeah, I see.
Has something else happened? Is that why you're asking me all these questions?
We found the gun that killed the restaurant owner.
There must be a mistake.
There's no mistake.
Then, because of my testimony, you feel that an innocent man is serving a term in prison?
Could be.
Mr. Matthews, I did what I thought was right. And to be absolutely truthful, I still think I was right.
You think your way, I'll think mine. I'm going to get Silver out of prison right now.
The proof offered by the Highway Patrol obtained Howard Silver's immediate release from prison. But Matthews knew there would be adjustment problems to be met. And especially concerned would be Silver's daughter, Emily.
Yes?
Silver?
Yes?
I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol.
Oh, yes. Please come in, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you.
They told me what you've done for my father. I don't know how we can ever thank you enough.
You're expecting him home today, aren't you?
Yes, I'm waiting for him now. I wanted to drive up to the prison and bring him home, but he wouldn't hear of it. He wouldn't even let me meet him at the bus depot.
Why not?
He said he had some things to do on the way home.
Well, you know, being in prison, even if you're guilty, it's pretty rough. But to be in there when you know you're innocent, that's rougher.
I know. It's been tough on Dad. The last time I saw him, he was so bitter, so strange.
Well, he's going to be strange and bitter when he gets home. You just be patient. It'll work out.
Believe me, Mr. Matthews, I'll try with everything I have.
And if you want us, call us.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Goodbye. And thanks again.
Good to see you, Emily. Bye.
Well, come on in, Dad. Come on, let's go. Isn't it wonderful, Dad? Here you are home. We're back together again. You're looking fine.
I feel good. How about you?
Couldn't be better. Here, let me take your hat. Oh, Dad. Well...
what's new?
What's new? That's a silly question. Well, let's see. I got a promotion and a raise in salary last week.
Good.
And, oh, yes, I made the last payment on the car yesterday.
The car? Is that your car parked out front?
Mm-hmm. It isn't very new, but isn't it a dandy?
Say, what are you doing home this time of day? Or is this your day off?
Not as a rule, but Mr. Engel said I didn't have to report today, so I could... Oh, Dad.
Baby.
I've missed you so much, and I've been so lonesome.
Yes, I know, and I'm sorry, honey.
Day after day and year after year.
Yes, I can understand that, too.
And then when you wouldn't let me come and meet you, I was worried. I just couldn't reason it out.
I had a reason. There were some things I had to do.
Well, you could have told me. Oh, Dad. But what am I weeping about?
Now, here.
Isn't that silly? Isn't that just like a woman?
Why should I cry when you're home now? That's the thing that counts. And from now on, you're the guest of honor.
Thank you. I was surprised when you sent me this address. How long you been living here?
Quite a while.
You didn't mention it in any of your letters or the last time you were up to see me.
I know I didn't, but I didn't want to worry you.
Why did you leave our lovely home and move into a little place like this?
I lost the house, Dad. I just couldn't keep it up after Mother went.
Yeah, your mother would have died if they hadn't put me in prison. Emily, I'm a maroon man, and Jerry Reynolds is going to pay for it. I'm going to make him suffer for what he's done to me.
You're bound to be caught.
I expect to be caught. And I don't even care if I'm killed in the act, as long as I get to shoot first.
So you're going to kill a man to satisfy your lust for revenge. You don't care what happens to you, and apparently you don't care what happens to me either.
Emily.
I've put up a front for 5 years because I knew you were innocent.
It's no use.
What am I going to do when I know you're in prison because you are a murderer?
Emily, I'm sorry, but this is the way it has to be.
You can't do it, Dad. You can't. You mustn't. Please. Please.
Forgive me.
Dad. Operator, give me the highway patrol, please.
Matthews.
Mr. Matthews, this is Emily Silver. My dad took the keys to the car. He's gone out. And he said...
What'd he say?
He said he's going to kill Mr. Reynolds.
What's the license number of your car?
LVE 745.
LVE 745. What kind is it?
Yellow convertible.
Oh, just a minute. APB. Yellow convertible LVE 745, driven by Howard Silver. Get his record out of the files.
Right.
Exactly what happened?
I overheard him trying to locate Mr. Reynolds. I told him he'd go back to prison, but he said he didn't care. He said his life is ruined and there's only one thing he wants now. Revenge.
Did he have a gun?
Yes, he said he got one on the way home.
If you hear from him, call me right away, will you?
Why won't he be himself, Mr. Matthews? He's not acting like my dad at all. My father was a wonderful and sweet man. He just can't do this. You'll help him, won't you? Please help him. Please.
We'll sure try. Get in touch with Reynolds at his house. If he's there, tell him to keep himself locked in till we get to him. I'm going to try the bus company. Thanks very much. Reynolds has left. He's a half hour out of the terminal. See, that should put him about right in here. Contact one of the units in that area. Have them get in touch with the bus.
Right.
What's the fare, please?
How far are you going?
The end of the line.
37 cents.
Yeah.
.1440 just located the Silver's car. Short distance from the bus stop. Palmer Drive and Century. No sign of Silver.
That means Silver's on the bus. If he is, Reynolds is in trouble. We're dealing with a guy whose motive is revenge. He doesn't care whether he gets caught or not. Let's gamble that Silver will torment him for a while. I'm going to try and pick that bus up at Forest Junction. You get his daughter out there as fast as you can. We might need her.
Aren't you?
That's right.
Remember me?
Can't say that I do.
That's funny. You remember me all right when you saw me in the beam of your headlights.
Howard Silver.
That's a good guess, Reynolds. Much better than the one you made 5 years ago.
Silver, I found out I made a mistake. I'll do anything in the world to make it right with you.
You'll have to hurry, Mr. Reynolds, because you only have a few minutes left to live.
That's a fair. 23 cents.
Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, Mr. Matthews, did he?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm so glad.
So am I, Emmy. I guess I've been in the dark for a long time. But now, everything seems light again.
Can't you let him go, Mr. Matthews? He'll be all right now. I know he'll be all right.
Emily, the officer has to do his duty.
But this is Mr. Matthews, the man who found out about you, who worked to get you out of prison.
Mr. Matthews, it may sound silly now if I say I'm grateful, but I am deeply and sincerely grateful.
Yeah, I know you are. And I'm sorry. Now take him away.
Let's go.
What will they do with him?
That's up to the judge.
Mr. Matthews.
Now what?
Been quite a trip, and you saved my life, and I want to tell you how grateful I am. But can I pull out now? I'm way behind schedule.
You sure can if I can have my 23 cents back.
My life is certainly worth more than that.
It wasn't a few minutes ago.
It's all right.
See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, if you care to drive, drive with care. This is Bradley Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Vandalism, in which acts of violence erupt suddenly without motive or purpose, poses an endless and dangerous puzzle for law enforcement agencies. But the case of Fred Carter was doubly dangerous, for this man used apparently pointless vandalism to mask a sinister motive and a deadly purpose. What appeared to be random sniping at passing cars was in reality a carefully contrived pattern for murder.
Highway Patrol, please.
Highway Patrol, Larrabee. Yes, ma'am. What's your name, please? When did it happen, Miss Cooper? I see. Where are you now? Uh-huh. Can you hold on just a moment, please? Had another sniping at Wellsburg.
Oh, fine. That makes number 8, doesn't it?
Apparently doubling up patrol in that area didn't make much impression.
We'll have to impress him a little harder, that's all. Tell Miss Cooper to wait where she is. I want to talk to her.
Here's your location.
Thanks.
This is the spot. I stopped right here, I think.
Let's see. You were going 35 miles an hour. It takes 78 feet to stop. Another second to apply the brakes. That's another 38 feet. Yeah, I guess you'd stop about right in there.
So he was hiding in there somewhere. Anywhere.
Did he shoot the others from there, too?
No, that'd be too easy. 7 cars have been hit so far. You're number 8.
The only pattern is they form a circle around Wellsburg.
The shell cases we found all come from the same gun.
Then it's someone in Wellsburg.
And he's playing it real careful.
You know, we could retire before we'd finish combing this brush. We'd better check all the farmers in the area. Then anybody who owns a 22.
Practically every family in the area owns one. Standard equipment on a farm.
Yeah, I know. Take Miss Cooper back to the car. Check the 3 farms at the cutoff. I'll go the other way. Thanks, Miss Cooper.
Good luck.
Dunlap? Matthews, Highway Patrol. May I come in?
Sure.
Sure about the snipings in the past few days?
I sure have.
One of them happened near your place. See anybody with a rifle?
No, I didn't. But I thought it might be the same lad we caught shooting the insulators off our telephone poles last year.
Who was that?
Well, I dropped in on his parents last evening, and the boy couldn't have been the same one. So I'd rather not mention his name. No use making trouble.
Why don't you let us run the investigation? That happens to be our job.
Well, that's the way I am, Mr. Matthews. I see something going wrong, and I just have to set it right, if I can. I don't like to see anybody flaunt the law or take unfair advantage of another person. That's the way I am.
Mm-hmm. Anybody live here with you?
No, not since my sister died. I'm a bachelor. But if I get to the bottom of these shootings, I'll certainly let you know.
Thanks.
It won't be easy, you know. Everybody around here knows how to use a gun.
No, not quite. Somebody knows how to aim one and pull a trigger. There's a difference. Who's got the next farm?
Fred Carter.
Well, Jim.
Hi, Mr. Larkin.
Still figuring on staying around here?
How's my credit?
Credit?
Look, I've been on that farm of mine, or what's left of it, for 5 days, pulling up the weeds. I intend to stay with it, but I've got to have some credit.
No, I don't know, Jim.
I served my time in prison. Now I'm trying to start over.
Well, you were a bad risk long before you went to jail, Jim.
I'm asking you for a break.
Well, you proved to me that you've learned your lesson, and maybe we can work something out.
Never mind, Mr. Larkin.
Wait a minute, Jim. If it's a grub steak you want, or a few potatoes, or a few beans, I'll always help you, Jim.
Now, keep it.
Matthews, Highway Patrol. You Carter?
Yeah?
Oh, we're checking on the snipers. Been operating in this area. Shot was fired from your land the other day.
Well, I'm not your man. I don't own a gun. Even if I did, I couldn't hit a broadside of a barn. But come on in.
Thanks. Did you happen to see anybody in this area with a rifle today?
You mean boys?
Anybody.
We are looking for boys, aren't you?
Well, why should I?
Well, you know how boys are.
Sure, I know how boys are, but that doesn't make them snipers.
Well, grown men wouldn't go around shooting at cars.
You'd be amazed how many middle-aged juvenile delinquents there are. Hey, you live here alone?
Well, yeah.
Nice-looking girl.
Yeah, I almost married her, but she changed her mind.
That's too bad.
Say, you figuring this sniper to be a grown man kind of worries me. Yeah? My own car was hit this morning, you know.
Why didn't you report it?
Well, I was just on my way to town when you drove up. You want to see it?
Yeah, I'd like to.
There it is.
What'd it happen?
Well, about a mile or so down the road. I thought my tire had picked up a rock. Didn't know it was a bullet till I got home.
Now, if you see anybody with a gun, let us know, will you?
I sure will.
Thanks.
Morning, Emmett.
Oh, good morning, Herb. What can I do for you?
Need a sack of feed.
Okay. Say, your friend Purcell was in. Wanted me to extend him some credit. Can you beat that?
Well, his place is awful run down. Listen, next time he comes in, if he needs help, tell him to see me.
Look, Herb, you don't owe him anything. When you identified him, you were doing your duty. It isn't your fault he went to jail. It's his.
I know, but... well, I'd like to see him get started right.
Well, it's your funeral.
Morning, Fred.
Morning, Herb.
Fred, anything else, Herb?
The wire mine come in yet?
No, but it should be in this morning.
Well, I'm going to the post office. I'll stop at the barber shop. You call me, huh? I'll be home about noon.
Okay, Herb. Goodbye.
How'd it go?
Couldn't find out a thing, you?
I don't get it. Nobody's seen anything suspicious in the past 4 days. I'll stay with it. You resume patrol.
$21.10 to $21.50. $21.10 to $21.50.
$21.50 by.
There's been another sniping. This time the driver's dead.
$10 for.
of Herbert Dunlap's body sprawled behind the wheel of his pickup truck, the vicious potential hazard inherent in the snipings had become a reality. As Matthews arrived on the scene, he realized that because what looked like vandalism had not been stopped in time, he now had to catch a killer.
It's Dunlap, one of the farmers I talked to.
I've sent for the lab boys. Did you notice from the position of the wound, it looks like he was hit from almost straight on?
Yeah, but he could have had his head turned. Take a look at this windshield. Judging from that, the bullet came in slightly from the left. He must have died instantly.
Yeah, and turned the wheel as he fell over.
I'm going up the road approximately where he was hit. You get up there, see if you can get a beat on me.
I had a perfect line on you from here. The grass is matted down. I figure that's where you waited. There's a heel print over there and a part of another here.
That's a real nice spot. A little different from all the others.
How do you mean?
The others were a little off to the side. And this one, the traffic hits you head on. We're not looking for a sniper who got careless. We're looking for a guy who deliberately committed murder. Take a look here. That shell could be from the same gun. Get a cast of those heel prints, too. He gets his stuff at Larkin's feed store.
Probably on his way home.
I'm going to the store and talk to the people there. You wait for the coroner and lab men, then meet me. Mr. Larkin?
Yes?
I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol.
Yes.
Tell me something. Who wrote this up?
Well, I did. For Herb Dunlap. But how did you get it? Something wrong?
He's dead.
Herb dead? Why? What happened?
He was shot by a sniper on the highway.
Oh, I can't believe it.
How long have you known him?
Most of my life.
Did he have any enemies?
Oh, not Herb. He got along with everybody. Why, he was as helpful almost to a fault. Why, I don't think there's a person in the world who... Wait a minute. One man might have a grudge against him.
Oh? Who was that?
Jim Purcell. A bad apple.
What about the grudge?
Well, Purcell held up a lumber yard, and Herb saw it. Purcell was sent up for 4 years because Herb identified him at the trial. Otherwise, he would have gone free.
Is he still in prison?
No, he just got out. He came back to town on the bus about 5 days ago.
Where can I find him?
Well, he has a little farm out on the cutoff.
Thanks, Mr. Larkin.
You're welcome, sir.
How'd it go?
Only got a man with a motive.
I brought the cast of that heel print in. I thought you might need it on this end.
Let's check it now. Mr. Larkin?
Yes, sir.
Here's a cast of the heel print found at the scene of the crime.
Why, that looks like the heel of a work shoe that I stock.
Got a pair handy?
Yes, I have. There you are, sir.
Thanks. There's no doubt about it. Any other store in town carry the shoe?
No, I'm the only one in the area. It's a good buy, too. It sells for $5.40.
Anybody buy a pair in the past few days?
Yes, Jim Purcell, about 5 days ago.
Jim Purcell. Let's go. Thanks, Mr. Larkin. Your name, Purcell?
Word got around real fast, didn't it? The black sheep's in town. Better get the cops out there.
All right, come on, let's go inside.
Look, I got work to do. I haven't got time to talk to you.
Take time, it's important.
Okay, what do you want?
You know a guy by the name of Dunlap?
Herb Dunlap? Sure. This town's my home. I know them all.
He testified at the trial, didn't he?
That's right.
And you probably won't mind hearing that he's dead.
You're kidding me.
Somebody shot him. Know anything about it?
Oh, me? No. Why should I?
4 years in jail is a good reason.
Okay, so I paid the state their 4 years. I haven't seen Dunlap since the trial.
Are those the shoes you bought at Larkin's 5 days ago?
Sure, why?
Show me your foot.
What?
Sit down and hold up your foot. Could be close enough.
Yeah. You got a .22 rifle on the place?
That's all I need. Me an ex-con with a gun?
Look around outside. Where were you at noon today?
Right here.
Prove it.
Ah, you know I can't prove it. I never should have come back here. Every little thing that goes wrong.
This is no little thing. It's murder.
Oh, sure. That's going to have my prints all over it because I handled it. I found it here just before you got here. I don't know who put it there or how it got there. Look, I swear I never saw it before. But you're not going to believe me, are you? Not for 1 minute.
Lab just called. There's some discrepancies between the heel of Purcell's shoe and the cast of the print.
Anything ballistics?
Not yet. Highway Patrol, Larrabee. Not yet. Purcell's still sticking with his story.
I've been down in the lab. They've been running a series of tests on that rifle. The slug that killed Dunlap wasn't fired from this gun.
You sure?
Positive. They've been turning slugs under that microscope for an hour. Funny thing is, that shell case we found did come from the gun.
Then it was planted.
That's the way I figure it.
Let's take a ride. Mr. Larkin.
Yes, sir.
We were wrong.
Yeah?
Purcell didn't kill Dunlap.
No, who did?
We don't know. Anybody in here with Dunlap today?
Why, yes. Fred Carter came in while Herb was here.
Now think. Anybody else buy a pair of those work shoes lately?
Well, about 4 days ago, Fred Carter did. Now, surely you don't think Fred. Why, Fred and Herb have been good neighbors for years.
How'd they get along?
Well, pretty well, but not so well lately since Herb's sister died.
Why should that make a difference?
Well, she came out from the east, and Fred started courting her, and Herb didn't think that Fred was, you know, sort of the right man. He was pretty stubborn about it, too. So she finally left, went back east, and she died about a year ago. Left quite a lot of money, too.
To her brother?
Yes, but is that a motive for a murder?
We don't know yet. Thanks.
Mr. Matthews.
Yeah. You heard about the murder, I suppose?
Yes, a terrible thing. That ex-convict Purcell.
He had nothing to do with it. Somebody framed him because he was an ex-con. Bought shoes exactly like his, did a little sniping to confuse things. Left a shell case and heel prints at the scene of the crime, then planted a gun at his house.
But who would do a thing like that?
Let's start with the shoes. Larkin said you bought them.
Are you accusing me?
I want to see them.
Well, this is ridiculous.
Why?
Herb Dunlap was my neighbor, my friend.
Stood between you and the girl you wanted to marry, didn't he?
Well, that was a long time ago.
And it bugged you that he wanted him dead. When he came back, you saw your chance.
But I was a victim of the sniper. My own car was hit.
Yeah, you stood back about 10 feet and shot a hole in your own car. Even angled it down so it wouldn't hit the motor.
Locked.
Radio for help. I'm going after him.
Be careful.
He's probably not armed. This is a foot race. Hold on, Carter. You're under arrest.
Only a foot race, huh?
Well, now we know where the murder weapon is. Can you see him?
No.
Rather than use this from this distance, I might as well throw rocks at him.
Yeah, he's really got us outclassed when it comes to weapons.
I don't know. Use both hands on that pistol of yours and take plenty of time.
But he can get off 3 good shots before I get a line on him.
I'll tell you what you do. Zero him in. I'm going to circle around trying to convince him he's covered from both sides. When he turns my way, nail him. Oh, and do me a favor. Don't miss. All right, Sergeant, he's behind those bricks over there. Let's rush him. I'll take it first. I'll get an ambulance. Oh, by the way, you qualified with that pistol of yours this month. See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, it isn't what you drive, but how you drive that counts. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.